Hey, it's me, GV, and welcome to GV Guides. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a boss guide for you here for 9 souls. We're getting to the end of it, it would seem. I don't think there's too many bosses slash mini bosses left. This is the Spirit Keeper Cixing? I don't know. Cixing? Anyways, this guy is in the Grotto of Scriptures West, and this dude is a pain to unlock. Not only a pain to unlock, but also a pain to fight. I am sure he will give people trouble because he is very fast and very aggressive. So yeah, to get to this guy, he is basically there. If you're going through this area, you probably saw the 3 statues and maybe have put together that you need to go to the 3 rooms where you do parry challenges, and then that opens up that door, but you have to fight this guy first. So you basically just have to go through the whole thing. The most confusing thing was these 3 like spinning pillars or whatever. It was really confusing trying to figure out how to navigate all of that. I was considering making a guide for it, but yeah, it really did my head in trying to figure out, where exactly to go. But eventually you just have to find the right, passage to take to get to the other side. So anyways, yeah, you have to go to these glowing doors. There's one right there. And then I think over here, there's the other 2 there, I think, and there. And if you do the parry challenges in those, it'll eventually open up this door here, which, this boss will guard that door. So here is my build, Water Flow Talisman, my favorite, Shadow Hunter. The tracking arrows are really good for the fast enemies because it'll obviously track them and be able to hit them even when you're trying to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Transmute unto life, which I don't think matters. And then here's my other stats here. Basically just exploring and getting everything. People always say that like, oh, you're so over leveled. It's like, no, I just play the game and unlock the stuff as I play through the game. I think a lot of people like just rush through this type of Metroidvania game and like don't explore and get the upgrades. That's kind of what the whole game's about. Anyways, here are my jades. I always forget I have more slots for it, but Cultivation Avarice, which do nothing, but you can take them off. Focus Jade, which empowers your Charge Strike, which really isn't great in this fight because he is too fast to even like land Charge Strikes a lot of the time. And then Breather Jade as well, which heals you for internal damage if you attack. And then I have one more slot, so I could try to put something else on. But again, I play these types of games like, if you get the boss down, you don't need to max out everything, really. And then finally, here are my skills. Basically have everything except for these final 4 and then this one. So what does this guy do? He does so much crap. He's a lot like the other mini bosses that jump over your head and then either attack you twice or once. So if he's flipping over your head, get ready to bop bop, hit L1 twice or just once if it's like a downward swing or whatever. He'll throw 2 daggers like all the other bosses in the game. So just bop bop to deflect them. And then he will basically leave behind those red bursts behind everything that he does, which really makes this guy annoying because he's always disappearing, reappearing, leaving behind the red circles, which you can't stand in, and that's super annoying. Then he'll also do 3 Tai Chi charges, so like 1, then 2, then 3, and I think he's the last one. The other 2 are clones, so basically, but they're taking up the space, so you want to jump L1, 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 like bounce on all 3, and I think he's the final one, and then deal a bunch of damage when you can. And then I think finally he will also do a axe kick red charge attack, which his clones will also do. So you really want to hold the empowered counter for the last one because I think he's the last one. But basically, yeah, you can try to do it for both. If you see the red kick coming in, he's probably going to come in again, and then the last one will be the real one, and you can try to counter it if you so wish. So all that being said, I think that's most of it, but we'll talk about anything I missed in the fight. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing is when you're coming down to this guy, make sure that that floating dude does not follow you, because sometimes he'll follow you and actually make this much harder. So make sure none of the enemies follow you into this arena here. Now, arrows are going to be your friend here because the homing arrows are always going to target him, and it makes this guy way easier because, yeah, you can just be dealing constant, consistent damage without, worrying about placing your shots. Also, there are free arrows to the right, so if you run out, you can keep firing them. Now, this guy does so much. His main bread and butter is flipping over you and then slashing you either twice or once. So every time you see him kind of jump to you or jump over you, you want to get ready to double tap L1 or tap it once, depending on the attack that he's going to do. Also, this dude will always leave behind those red AoE damaging spheres, so don't ever stay in one place for too long. Now, the main strategy I'm using with this guy is basically, he'll do 2 hits, and then I'll immediately get 2 key charges, and then I'll immediately hit him with the water talisman, because I know blocking both of those hits gives me the talisman charge, right? So I immediately block 2, and then immediately press R1 to place a water talisman on him consistently throughout this fight. Now, there you saw him do the 3 Tai Chi charges. So he does 2 clones and then the real one at the end. So really what I like to do is jump L1, L1, L1 as I bounce, and then the last one will stun him for a second and you can deal some damage. So here he goes, just jumping some more. There's the double slash. You'll notice that I don't get every single one because obviously there's a heck of a lot going on here, and that's really what makes this guy hard, is just how much is constantly happening. And really, yeah, it's when he weaves in his Tai Chi charges that kind of throws you off, because you have to be super duper ready for that with everything else happening, which makes it pretty difficult. The only thing I think we haven't talked about is when he does the axe kick, when he glows red, which if you're timing it well enough, you can hold L1 to do the empowered reflect. And then if you get it on, I believe, the second one, see there, he did it right there. But, that's probably a clone. So if you do it on the second one, like right here, let me see if I get it. Yeah, it'll deal some internal damage to him, and then you can hit him a bunch. And then also, if you place a talisman on him, it will blow up that internal damage. So obviously, this guy is difficult just because you're trying to do all of those things that I just said while the fight is moving very fast, which makes this hard. But yeah, in he comes with the red kick, and I think, to go for the parry, but it's so hard to time just because he's constantly moving. And eventually he will just chill out for a second, and that's always the best time to heal. Usually when he does just a whole bunch of attacks, sometimes he'll just kind of walk towards you if you're on one side of the map. But here's the 3 Tai Chi bounces. As you can see, the last one's going to stun him for a bit. He's dealt some internal damage, so I know I want to place a talisman. And then I see that I have arrow charges, so I'm going to throw those out as well. And I forget if I look to go break the arrow, container to the right there. But yeah, remember, if you use all your arrow charges, there are more to the right of the map. But yeah, that should be just about everything. The challenge in this fight is there's just so much going on. So if you're not used to something this fast-paced, it's really going to be a rude awakening. The best tip I could tell you, again, is get ready to double tap his double slashes. That will immediately allow you to place a talisman. So just get into the habit of, reflect, and then R1 to place the talisman. And the water talisman is great because, like I said, it'll just act on its own. And also, always throw your homing arrows out there because they'll always be hurting him, and you can really whittle his health down quite a bit. But yeah, he'll do these little red charge axe kicks, which are very difficult to parry because then he'll, go right into these Tai Chi kicks, and it's very easy to get tagged by one, which then you just want to immediately run to the left or to the right because you'll just get comboed into the other ones. It's really, really annoying. But yeah, whenever he jumps around like this, in comes the double slashes. So L1, immediate R1 to place the talisman just like that. And I can see that he's getting really low here. I'm also always watching my key charges to see how many I have left. And looking for opportunities to just tap R1. In comes the little axe kick here. And I do get tagged by it, which means I'm probably not going to be able to block the next one. He immediately goes into the Tai Chi kicks. And also, if you miss one of the ghosts, you can just kind of time it to wait, as I did right there. You don't have to hit L1 all 3 times. If you just bounce off the first one, you usually can wait to bounce off of the last one, which then will stun him enough for us to get the kill. But I hope this guide helped. This is a tough one. He's just so fast. Subscribe for more guides. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.